Okay, so this recording is regards to the recent taking of one of Jamaica's most notorious outlaws, Delano Prekeh Boy Wilmot, who and what I've learned guys from Politics Watch, because Sir P has done various videos on this guy, and he said that he's one of the most elusive and most dangerous criminals in Jamaica, because he one was notable was how it started out was that he was part of the Ratty gang, which was led by the now recently passed Ryan Ratty Peter King. I've never heard of this guy, or maybe Serpy mentioned him, but he it escapes my mind. And he broke off, did his own. Perky Bud broke off, did his own thing, and has been working mostly as a contract killer and a leader of a gang that he created. And he was noted as survival. He's four of gunfights with police. His notoriety peaked 2 years ago when he led ambush against a military patrol and injured three soldiers. What was why he was able to stay up ahead of the law for a while is because the other reason I'm going to mention is that able to he was used to the to surviving in the bushes around the Cambridge area in St. James because his knowledge of the caves around there. Well, and I think there's also the fact that a lot of these residents, these so-called pillars of moral virtue, would actually help to tip him off. Well, like a lot of these other areas where a lot of these so-called good citizens would hide and shelter and even act as a lookout and suppliers for these criminals that they help power about. So with his knowledge of the area and the fact that he was had help with the community, and I'd also go and say that that he also had links with some very powerful people, well, which is most likely like various corrupt politicians, because he most likely would be doing some jobs for them or some other people with long pockets. Yeah, he was able to stay off the radar, but apparently his luck ran out. I think Sir people put it like this, that even despite the fact that he was very skilled, well, just lucky that he's able to be elusive for a while, his luck ran out because he was the security forces probably got their heads up to take him out, and they efficiently did their job and took him off the mortal coil. And I think for what Serpi is saying is that led two teams, one as a decoy to get him out into the open, and due to a unknown source, I think they're claiming that is one of his fellow gang members gave him out, because you know that when a lot of criminals go down, get caught by the authorities, they pretty much start singing like Junior Tucker and Chevelle Franklin when they're in the music studio. So so basically someone he knew trusted was in circle just started to leak like a water tap, and they basically were able to find his exact location, establish his pattern, and they set him up. And even Politics Watch said it, that if they ever caught up to him, he's not going to be taken in alive, cause and he, like the prophet Nostradamus, was proved correct, cause he said, "No, I know that my time is at hand, and I don't want to spend the rest of my life in a cage. So, all right, so I just write as a goat in a blaze of glory." And that was the end of Perky Boy as of yesterday. Now, and the thing is, back to what I was saying is that, yeah, I first of all see this as a case study of what happens when you lead a criminal lifestyle. That this always end is either the jail cell or a pine box. But the thing is, unfortunately, Daryl, despite the fact that he's one of the most notorious gangsters in Jamaica, is now in the grave. There are others just like him. There was before him, and there are others like him, because that conveyor belt of crime and corruption is still going to keep revolving. Because I think, for I understand, this guy had kids all around the place, like various these other individuals who were in the criminal underworld. And the thing is, I do feel sorry for those poor kids. Like, I can just only hope that I'm sure once they hear the news of their father's tragic passing, that they don't grow up to be like him, that they grow up to be the opposite of him, we can only hope though, cause if because it's cause of this, cause his guy's actions, his children know without a father, and I can only pray that these children grow up to be the opposite of him. But the thing is, I said that he people like Perky Boy, these are end result of that culture of criminality that person's Jamaica. And yeah, do the people who are likely who are helping him in the community just as guilty as him? Oh yeah, but the thing is that same thing could be said about these links, these people that he was did his contract killings for. Because I genuinely theorize is likely the fact that this guy's very dangerous, that he was allowed to remain free for a while. They could take him out any time, especially the fact that after 2 years ago he injured several people from defense forces. That mean that so the people he was linked with probably had some use for him, so he's allowed to stay alive. But you can tell that the JDF wanted to take him out, but their hands were tied. And then when Perky Boy they had no more use for him, yeah, they said okay, we don't need him alive anymore. So you got the green light to put him in 6 feet under, and they took it pretty much there. Cause yeah, I just find fine for someone who's that dangerous that he was that after that one ambush, there's several ambushes he did with the police and the JDF, that he still be breathing. But and the thing is those that it is very obvious that whoever hired him, who is working for on the contract, these were people with big, well, a lot of porn connection, and they pretty much decided, just like a lot of these criminals that they use and exploit, that they'll that after a while when they have no more use for them, or they get to the line that hey, we'll get the order to have you taken out. All right, that's how I pretty much see it as. And I also think that because election times are coming, that they probably figured, okay, we'll just do him like Osama bin Laden with the Obama administration. And if you remember, Osama bin Laden, like Prekeh Boy, was one of the most wanted outlaws that were on the run for a good while. Well, bin Laden for many years, even though it's proved that bin Laden was a CIA agent. So there are a lot of questions about him. All right, but the thing is that before the 2012 elections, that the Obama administration had bin Laden killed, and that was basically just for political points. So I was feeling that this was the same thing here. That they said that so the politicians who most likely was tied to Perky Boy basically said, okay, elections are coming up. We take one of the most notorious and wanted criminals out. We have no more use for him. Yeah, I mean that will help us with elections when time comes. So that's what I feel part of this is about. Cause I just felt that it felt that it's convenient that he got, well, even though he wanted to go to Blaze of Glory, but one convenient thing is that if he had been taken alive or wanted to be taken alive, even though I'm guessing that he would have probably died under questionable circumstances behind bars, but who knows what he could have revealed if he had been alive? Who some of those contract killings he had been doing it for. Could have been interesting to have known who he was connected to, and most likely it would have been some politicians right here. But so, which is probably one of the reasons why they're probably glad that he's dead, because he won't be able to give out any of his clients or people that he's worked for who have some big pockets. That's what I feel. It's just a very big coincidence that the fact that he's out of the picture, that a lot of his people that he worked for, he did his contract killings for, that they're able to cover their tracks with his demise. I mean, that's what I feel this was all about. But that's what I feel about Perky Boy, though, is that it's I think it's just a case study of what happens when you go down that dark path. And the thing is that he's not unique, because a lot of Jamaican men, especially, and have gone down this path, and it never ends well. But we have to. But there's a case of what happens when you go down to go get into this lifestyle. Like, it never, you don't ride into the sunset in the end. Like, either you go behind bars or you gone down a dove cut. And that's what people should take away from this. Like, this is not someone to be glorified or admired. But this is a case study, and it's just I know Politics what said, which was so beautiful, said that this guy had chosen a different path. This guy could have been one heck of a JDF soldier because the guy was so skilled with his firearms. He's good at adapting into the outdoors. So he could have been one of the most valuable assets of the JDF or whatever, or any military outfit though, cause but but the sad thing that y'all went that he chose the wrong path. But then again, I look at the society and culture that creates people like this, and that's even more of a problem because there's going to be more like this guy. There are more like this guy because he wasn't the first one, won't be the last one. I can praise children don't take that path. All right, and what else can I add to this? All right, uh, yeah, that's pretty much all I can really add. Like, if I think of anything, I'll probably add it and add something else. But this is all I have to say about Prekeh Boy. I mean, I didn't know about him till Politics Watch, but he's a very interesting case study. But this is for State of Jamaica and the Caribbean. Check my YouTube pages. Miles Gussenfern, Miles G Productions, and Real Thoughts of Miles. Okay. Oh, so I just remember what I was going to say about the Prekeh Boy video I just finished recording. The other point I was going to make is that what am I saying that the reason why he was able to be evasive for so long in Cambridge community, because I mentioned that many of the residents who are shown that they're unsavory themselves would aid this guy and be lookout for him. All right, until they until just recently when he got taken out. I'm willing to bet, just like a lot of these other criminals get taken out by the authorities, that some of those same people are going to be blocking the roads and are going to be putting up tires and stones and saying that oh, Prekeh Boy was a paragon of virtue, that he was pure as a wind-driven snow, that he was the salt of the earth, that he was Jesus Christ incarnate. Some other bullshit though, just to say that, just to basically um humanize this guy, even though this guy is a dangerous criminal. So it's like I'm going to expect that they're going to be blocking the road and say how the police and soldiers them wicked that they killed an innocent person, that they're Babylon for this and that. I expect those same people to be pulling their usual antics in to honor this fallen angel, as and I do say it in quotes. So I expect that to happen. I mean, don't do it for Jasmine Dean or any of those general ordinary Jamaican civilians who are general innocent victims, but I expect they're going to be doing it for Prekeh Boy very soon. That they're going to be some of his followers supporting the community are going to be honor him as a martyr that was unfairly taken down because this guy was such a wonderful a moral pillar of virtue in that very community. Expect that same bullshit is going to kick off though. All right, so that's what I wanted to say. So as to the Prekeh Boy recording when I upload this to State of Jamaican Caribbean, hopefully by tonight. All right.